Hello, we meet again, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. My name's Gavin. This is my channel. We talk about true crime. We'd like to cut past the fluff, cut past the sensationalism, because I mostly just really like to get into documents, uh, audio recordings, videos. I like to analyze cases that are important to me. I think they're important to you as well. Tonight we are again on the case of the murder of Madeline Soto. Madeline is a 13-year-old Kissimmee, Florida girl. On February 26th, her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, a man named Stephan Stearns, reported to everybody that he had taken her to school. Jen, her mother, was at home sleeping, apparently. That's the way the story goes. That afternoon, when Jen went to go pick her daughter up from school, Madeline was nowhere to be found, and she was reported missing. Ultimately, her body was found on March 1st of last year. So it's been a year and 4 days since Madeline Soto's body was found near St. Cloud, Florida. Now, we've gone over this case a lot on my channel. You guys will know if you go to my website. Just go to, there's a link in the description that says Maddie's case page. Just click on that. That will take you to this page. We have got a case file that is enormous here. Lots of photos, lots of documents, lots of everything. And I've published those over on the website. So you can see that we've done a timeline. We've done a lot on this channel. I think you and I probably share the same opinion when it comes to Jennifer Soto, Madeline's mom. I think that, we may not perfectly align, but a lot of us are wondering what the devil, like what was going on here? What are the issues here, right? And as you guys know from yesterday's video, the ninth the 9th District State's Attorney's Office yesterday released 8 gigabytes of data in this case, including 711 photos. I published those to my website. We went over those yesterday in our live stream. You can check that out as a member of the Rewatch crew. And one of the things that was on there was an audio recording that I had never heard of police talking to Jennifer Soto. Has it been out there before? It's possible that it's been out there on, through other offices. But I looked around and I checked all the news sites, especially those local in Florida, and every single news article that I found said this was new. I certainly have never heard it. So what I want to do tonight is it's a 2-hour and 9-minute audio recording of police interviewing Jennifer Soto on February 28th. So in this recording, Madeline has been missing now for 2 days. She hasn't seen her daughter for 2 days, if we believe her story, right? And they're still 2 days away from finding her body. So I'd like to go ahead and listen to this. We're going to get through as much of it as we can today. I'm sure we're going to have to split it up into today and tomorrow because I'm not going to be able to listen all 2 hours tonight. This will be my first time hearing it. I did do some sound checks with it. It does seem to be a pretty darn good recording, though you may have to kind of lean in or put on headphones, okay? Now, as is always the case on my channel, if you will put GF in your comment in the live chat, I will see your, I have a filter on my side. I will be able to see your comment. For those of you on the Rewatch crew, not the same thing. You can put your comments down below, and I like to go through those comments every night. So please leave your thoughts, okay? So for example, let's see. Sonia says, "Hey Gavin, I saw in Plunder a long while back that Stephan Stearns called her Pookie." That came from that image yesterday. Indeed. Lizzie Hirschberger says, "I found your channel when you covered the Amish case in your area. I became a fan. since it became a channel supported thing. Thank you so much. That's pretty awesome. By the way, what you're talking about there is the murder of Rebecca Byler. Rebecca Byler, if memory serves, was 23 years old and pregnant with her third child when she was slashed to death in Spartansburg, Pennsylvania, which is kind of northwest of me. And that trial actually begins next week. I will be covering that trial. Let's talk disabilities. Stephan Stearns is being held without bond, right? Yes, that is correct. Okay, so let's see. Hope in the world. One more. Let's get before we get into the recording. Gavin, do you know if Stephan Stearns has discovery in his cell, pics, videos, etc., to help with his defense? That thought disturbs me on a whole new level if he has access to that. Likely not. I mean, he'll have some things, but he won't have the whole defense file. No, the whole discovery file. No, not. That would be extremely out of the ordinary if that were the case. Okay, so that's what you do. Put GF in your comment. That will help me to see your comment. And without further ado, let's go ahead. I'm just going to play the audio. You guys are going to hear it. We'll cycle through pictures of Maddie most of the time here. We like to be victim focused. Oh, you know what? Chava is asking a very good question. What was Stephan Stearns' status at the time of this recording? Had he already been charged for the pictures? The answer to that is yes. She didn't know it yet, but he was in custody at this point. I don't believe she knew it. But yeah, he was arrested. He was arrested that day, the 28th, if memory serves. Maybe Bree can help me out with that, or Mooney. You guys are on top of things, but I believe that was the day that he was arrested, okay? All right. With that, here we go. Oh, I've skipped ahead about 2 minutes and 14 seconds because it's mostly just kind of walking in. They haven't talked at all yet.
So like I told you, my name is Detective Police at the Sheriff's Office. This is
Detective Acosta.
You're correct? Your mom? Okay. And then dad lives in Texas, I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay. How long have you and Stephan been together?
Stephan and I have been
I'm sorry,
together.
Stephan.
It's okay. On and off for about 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys still currently live together?
No. He recently moved back down in December to Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down there until we can financially afford to bring him back home.
Gotcha.
We are waiting for... He used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did you do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay. And what was the job that his dad was trying to get him? Do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that. Like an apprenticeship kind of thing. Okay. That fell through. So we were waiting we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again. Okay. From when you resigned. Right. So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay. So how often?
And I'm going to do my best not to interrupt. I'm going to do my best. But the one where she was confronted with that happened on March 1st, about an hour and a half before Madeline's body was found.
Does he stay at the apartment with you guys?
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us since December twice or 3 times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently?
He got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then how is his relationship?
I would say super great. He treats her as his own child. He always has.
Okay.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the
Oh,
games.
okay,
I'll
I
be a
see what
part
you're
of
saying.
it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever?
It's, for the most part, it's the three of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep with you, sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room, and me would sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all three of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone, away from me, because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the three of us together,
oh, I can only imagine.
It's a king bed, but like my kid karates, like she just.
Well, she's she's not a small baby anymore.
No, she's not. So it's just three humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often was they would go? You would send them off on their own.
I would say. Honestly, somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
That's
it
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this is
times.
over the course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
done alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh, okay.
Hardly ever would I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
right.
very.
And then you said you and Stephan have been together for about 5 to 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
7 years, okay.
If she had that rule, why did she break that rule?
So you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
So you're pretty familiar with him. Whose hand does that look like?
That's Stephan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So,
wow.
You and Stephan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does this look like Stephan's penis to you?
No.
No? Okay. What about that?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if they've got like I don't mean to make a joke out of this, but like a 6-pack, like they do a photo lineup. I wonder if they're doing like a photo lineup of penises. Not funny, but I'm just uncomfortable. I guess that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And yes, I believe this is new audio. I mean, some people in the comments are saying that they've heard this before, but I mean, I haven't found anywhere where it's been before.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing stuff with oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys...
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures.
I've read these reports,
of
but
him
I've not heard
conducting
this audio.
very sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made-up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay?
Check right now.
Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? If you want to. Yeah.
Does that seem like she had an emotional reaction finally?
How are you feeling right now?
Like trying to elicit conversation with her.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos in there.
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
What makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him well enough.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
How they're trying to get her to talk.
So, our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stephan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I can think of that they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping to like Target before.
Okay. But anywhere else that you can think of? What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these aren't. I'm not telling you. Like these aren't just Google images that we found. Like these are actual images. And I don't want you to see images of your daughter like that. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road. So wherever you think can be right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course, I just have no idea.
Did Stephan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida.
Newport, Florida. I'm sorry.
Alone, no.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah, or I would drive down with him. We would just hang out.
Okay. So when Stephan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house? He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that?
No, he stayed at our place.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
Yeah, I haven't heard this before.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No.
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
No, he didn't. We were in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa.
Okay.
And then came back.
But how long was he gone for?
Uh,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Some of the details in this we know about. Like I know that some of you are saying you've heard it before, and I'm not calling you out on that. I just haven't been able to find it anywhere else before. If Bree has never heard it before, I'm telling you, the likelihood of it being out there is probably pretty low. She is an amazing researcher. Now, but there are the reports that have come from this interview that I have read. So a lot of these details we know about because they were in reports that we went over on this channel. So I don't know if it is new or not. It's definitely new to me.
Okay, do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So look, we just need any information. Any?
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can...
Did you communicate with Stephan on the new phone with your phone? No. No?
I just want to... I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual images of my child.
Are you sure you want to see that?
Here's a comment that I want to bring up. I've seen this video before too. This is not the interview that she did on the couch in the interview room with the police. That happened on March 1st. This is not that. This is from February 28th.
I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that? And as a parent, take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images. But I know as a parent, I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth. And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stephan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture has a penis in her mouth. Do you need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know, and it's unfortunate that these are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stephan has been with him in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Chrissy, this is. Thank you for the super chat. This is a great question. I would say, it's me though. I am. I'm a little different than most. If my daughter were being abused, I would want to see it. I would. And not out of morbid curiosity, but out of, I would never be able to. It would always be in my imagination anyway, and so I would rather just see the thing. It's the same thing with, I know in the case of Amanda Winkowski, she was badly decomposed, and they had an open casket funeral, and the funeral director was adamant that nobody touch Amanda, and her mom just wanted to touch her so much. And the funeral director was trying to do it for her benefit. Don't touch your daughter, right? For me, it would almost be better. I want to see my daughter. But maybe that's just me. Thank you for that super chat. Got another one, a super sticker. Thank you from Lizzie. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then I saw that Mooney has gifted some memberships. Thank you very much for that, Mooney. All right, let's keep going. And by the way, if you guys have heard this, you've heard it, but this is not the conversation that we've seen on video. This happened 2 days prior to that. They will have the same kind of themes in these conversations, of course, but it's not the same conversation.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God. If I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know that... Say again, I'm sorry?
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but...
Yeah.
He's here. Was there any... The video footage that was caught at the church, what exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just...
Do you know much?
It looked like someone around age that walked by, but it's inconclusive whether it was or not. Right? It was too grainy. The video was not... You couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church. So the last person that saw was Stephan.
Yeah. So we want to know, because he's the last person to see her. He claims to have dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
or close to the church.
Or close to the church. You know, unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up. Would it, after Stephan dropped her off?
Let me do this for a second.
Did he come back home?
I'm going to bring up that video, the audio from the video, and see from the first.
So it's kind of a joint effort. So Texas Small is kind of, we're going to read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same audio, guys. It's going to have the same themes, but it's not the same audio. All right, let me get it going again.
About how long was he gone for during drop-off?
I want to say from 8:30 to like 10:15, because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone to the vape shop, but I don't know if they weren't open or not yet. So he left.
Okay.
And then hung out around the house and waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
He grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point. He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but they never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home just to give it time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying the vape shop was closed and he came back home?
I think so. Something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was killing time. Or at least I did believe him.
What's like usually, how long does it take to go do her drop off and come back?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay. So
45, 50 minutes.
So give or take an hour.
There's still a question.
So you should have been back home by like 9:30ish.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's like 45 minutes to 30 minutes of a gap in time there.
Yeah.
Where could he have gone?
He says he was driving around aimlessly, just killing time.
Okay. So then he comes home, let's just say around 10:15 is what you're saying. What time did you get home from your doctor's appointment?
I'm going to say somewhere between 11 and 11:20.
And then did he leave again?
Yes.
How do you know he was home? Because you got the call?
Because I got the call and I think I saw him when I got home.
Okay.
No, this is not the same audio as the immunity deal. I'll take a look when that one happened.
And then what time did he leave again to go to the vape shop?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time he left.
And then...
Oh, actually, hold on, let me think.
Do you guys have a Ring at your house? A Ring doorbell? Do you have any video doorbell system? Do you have any cameras in the house?
No. I'm going to say...
The immunity audio happened on April 18th. Different audio.
I'm going to say he left around somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, because I remember looking at the time going, I don't think he's going to be done in time running his errands to be back by 2:30 when I need to leave to go get him.
Okay.
And he said he ran his errands. He stopped at a few comic shops or game stores or something like that. Then he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. He doesn't remember exactly where. I remember him telling me he hurt himself changing the spare tire.
How did he hurt himself?
Okay.
something slipped while he was doing something with what's the crank that pops up that brings
the lift, or
yeah,
you
know what I'm talking about.
The jack.
Something slipped and his finger got caught between the frame and the jack, I think. So he had to pull out his finger. So I know he's got a Band-Aid on his finger right now because of that.
So what time do you leave the house to go pick up?
2:30.
2:30?
Yeah, she gets out at 4. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to school, and then I wait about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the car line and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to be the first in line.
So at what point did you think, something's up?
Around 4:10, when she did not come out of school, and I was the first in line. I was holding up the line. I'm the first in line. There's cars behind me, and they already have their kids.
Right.
So when I noticed she had not come out, I drove away, thinking maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up from school today because I have a new work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you do for work again? I'm sorry.
I work at
Okay.
I just recently, that's the biggest reason I even called Stephan, was to come help me this week with her getting her to school, helping with the dog. That's the whole reason I even called him, was to come help me.
And what car did he come up in from down there in?
In his dad's Cadillac.
Okay. All right. So you kind of get some concerns when she's not coming out.
She's not coming out, so I drove to my mom's office along the same path she would have walked. I didn't see her. Got to my mom's office. I asked my mom, is she here yet? She goes, no. And I said, oh, maybe I missed her. Maybe
Does she sometimes walk home from school?
Yeah, she does.
To
my mom's office, yeah.
Gotcha. And then you pick her up from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't make it. So I drove back to...
I think that's a good assessment, but...
I think at this point I had called her best friend to ask, hey, is she with you? Because I went to pick her up from school and I didn't see her.
Right.
And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period.
Okay.
And I was like, can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods?
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point I emailed her teacher.
Right. Do you know if she has a Snapchat?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. She just has the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. So, after you go to your mom's office, you realize she's not there either. Is this when you go home?
No, I go back to the school drive the path again to see if I missed her. And then I go back to the school to check their attendance because her friends are telling me she never made it. But when I got to the school was already closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove back. I think at this point I had gotten a response from one of her teachers telling me she never made it to my period, and then he checked the attendance for the rest of the day and she never made it to any of her periods.
Gotcha, okay.
This is when I start to panic and freak out because I know something is wrong. So I call... Sorry, I just thought about that image.
It's okay. Take your time.
So I called 911.
So you called 911?
Or I don't know if I did or my sister did, but somebody called 911.
What was Stephan's reaction when you said you were calling 911?
I called him and I said, she never made it to school. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she got dropped off. I was like, you dropped her off? She never made it to school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please come to the office right now. He goes, okay, I'm heading there right now. So he hauled ass came to the office.
And you're driving your car and he was driving his car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it to the office, and then we started calling. I was talking to 911, waiting for the cops, kept calling them back.
They referenced the photos that she had seen in the interview on the first, but they didn't show her the video or the images on the first. I know the thing is that she's interviewed multiple times, right? And says the same things mostly. So it's a little confusing, but I have never heard this before. I'm just going to say that.
I'm trying to figure out where she might be.
Mm-hmm.
We were both sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took our report. That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night?
Yeah.
And what's Stephan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would, no.
Okay.
Do you think he'd ever hurt Madeline? No, I don't think he ever would. You were just told that he had been SAing her. Oh my goodness.
Like, I believe you when you talk to me about those images. Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case.
Okay.
I don't think.
It's been going.
I have never heard that sentence before. I've never heard that sentence before. I want to go back like 10 seconds. Let me see if I can scroll this back. It's going to be more like 20 seconds. Hang on.
I understand.
Like, I believe you when you talk to me about those images. Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case.
That's what I thought she said. I believe that may have happened. Those images might be real, but that's not related to this case. What? No. Listen, Jennifer, listen to me, okay? If a person is willing to SA your daughter, that person is willing to murder her too. And the reason that I say that is because SA is a worse, more violent, more disgusting crime than murder that is already almost as gross and disgusting as you can possibly get. It's the most violent thing ever, except for SA. And that's what's blowing my mind about this. Like, I think, yeah, that image might be real. What you're telling me might be true. It may have happened. I believe you that it happened, but that has nothing to do with this case. What world are you from? Oh my goodness.
I don't think.
It's been going on now. It's been going on since she's been. And I wish I could say, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked at them. This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures.
We know that they went back.
I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through. But we need to know literally everything. At the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office main goal here, we want to find and bring her back home. That's what we want. But we need your help. We can only do so much. You're with her on a daily basis. You understand their relationship. You understand everything. But at the end of the day, we just need to know. Did he make any mention of going anywhere, taking her somewhere when he came into town? I know you said they like to play games together.
No, he wasn't taking her going anywhere.
Okay. And prior to coming up Sunday, when's the last time he's been here?
I'm gonna say it's been over a month.
Okay. Has she ever made any comments to you about sex or anything like that? Being abused or anything like that? Hold on one second.
Turn just 1 second.
Don't know how long this is going to last here, so I'm just going to go through a couple comments here. Take a look at some of them. Late to your first live? Well, I'm glad you're here, Tamara. Thanks for being here. Do you guys hear the squeak on my mouse wheel? Yeah. A lot of people feel that way. Towley. Let me see what else you got here. In the video where she's on the couch, she said something about him S.A.ing, but not something evil like murder. Yeah, she did say that. That is true. Sunshine Girl, if there is video of this audio, I'd love it. I don't have it. Let's see. Jen's hearing hoofbeats and desperately looking for a zebra when common sense says it's a horse. That's
so there might have been a little bit of miscommunication here, but a Kissimmee police officer detective is going to come to speak to you about everything that we just talked about, okay? Okay. So they're going to come talk to you with an Orange County detective. So I don't want to go too much further into it with you because they're going to go a little bit deeper. They know a lot more than I do. Okay. So they'll be able to explain a little bit more to you. Is that fair? In the meantime, do you need to use the bathroom or anything?
I don't know.
It's okay. Take your time. Do you need any more water? Okay.
I don't think that's my phone, Haley.
Are they coming here to interview?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're not going to have to go anywhere.
Yeah, we'll keep this silence and go through a couple things here. Robin Marnie, now you hear the squeak. Yeah, I have a very old mouse. It has a wire and everything, and the wheel squeaks. I need a WD-40. Well, I do my best. I try. And there are a lot of channels here on YouTube that are also doing a terrific job covering Maddie's case. Yes, Stephan did switch cars. Wait a minute. No, not from his dad's to his, but from his to his dad's.
That's okay. And the Kissimmee detective, we'll go over everything with you, okay?
I didn't think of those terms, Eve.
Can I get you anything?
Kid in Virginia. Me too. Sorry about the squeak, guys. I have a whole blog post on this while we're waiting for more action to happen here. I have a whole blog post on what she can be charged with. I did a whole video on it, and if you go to my website, which is gavinfish.com.
How long have you been working at? For?
Less than 2 weeks.
Oh, so you just started there?
Yeah.
Are you just like in training, or how does it work?
Yeah, I'm in training right now.
Okay. What'd you do before that?
I was a substitute teacher for a little bit, but for the most part, for the last few years, I've just been living off disability.
Okay.
Yeah, that is in the audio. That's that phone. I feel like Jen's reaction is that of a woman who already knew the deep, dark secret. That's what I think. I hadn't thought about that before, Sandbaby. But it does seem like she's upset that all this time is being taken, right? Hey, great comment, Jess. Great comment. Consuelo. Jen is actually disappointed that the press conference isn't taking place. Yeah. Haley, welcome. Glad you found me. If Jen were to accept this information about Stephan Stearns abusing Madeline, she'd have to accept and admit to the role she played in enabling it, and her bad parenting choices. Denial is easier for her. Good comment, Kia Sister One. Yeah, Bree, I've thought about that a time or two myself. Substitute teacher. She was a mandated reporter. Yeah, I think she knew. I definitely think she knew Cosmic. You finally caught alive. Well, welcome, Dallas. I'm going to try to skip ahead here.
But
Okay.
And driving around.
Okay, coming back. All right. Looks like I skipped about 4 minutes, looks like, guys.
Let's say all the sexual stuff did happen. Or
let's say that.
We know it happened. What if he's telling the truth about dropping her off and driving away and driving around in circles and getting to the vape shop? Is there video evidence of him in front of the vape store? Because I know there's banks around, right in that same plaza. There must, and in Amscott, there must be video of him pulling into that plaza and waiting.
What do you mean? What's your question?
If you guys have found evidence of him being in front of the store like he said he was, like it's possible that his story might be true and somebody else could have taken her. Like I'm just thinking, like, what if we're focusing, like, okay, the sex things happened, right? But what if that's completely a side thing and not having to do with this, like her missing?
Yeah.
What if
I got you.
else...
So just like Detective Khalees explained, that's why the Kissimmee detective and the Orange County detective are going to come and talk to you about it. Obviously, it's two different things that we're talking about, but they may be tied together. They may not. We're not sure. But that's why we want to talk to you and get as much information as possible. That's what the detectives are going to come and talk to you and, try to help us out. Get as much information.
Am I allowed to talk to my sister right now?
Right now, just hang on for right now, until after they're done.
So I'm going to throw Jen a bone here. What she is saying right there is true. That it is possible that Stephan at this point could have been telling the truth, that that he did drop her off, and that you guys know I'm just throwing a bone here, okay? This isn't what I believe. I'm just saying, like, from a investigative standpoint, you would have to be investigating both things at the same time, but the likelihood that a person who has been abusing a little girl for years is also the one that murders her is really high. So they would want to check his story. Of course, by this point, I'm sure that they had already they had all the video. They saw Maddie in the car dead. They saw, the whole thing by this point. But I mean, that is I guess all I'm saying is it is something that police would have to consider.
I think I'm at the press conference, but I'm not.
Thank you for the super sticker, Mary.
You weren't there.
She's concerned about the press conference right
What was
now.
said at the press conference? What did I miss?
They'll let you know.
And thank you, Tony.
What are you worried about that you missed?
Nothing, just if there's a new piece of information that I haven't heard or something. But I know you guys are keeping me in the loop as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Cupcake, I would love those. Head over to my website, shoot me a message, and I'll... Actually...
I just keep hoping.
I don't want to interrupt the thing, but if you look down in the description, there is a link where you can drop things to me. And just drop them there. And thank you.
She's still out there and she's still alive. I don't think Stephan would have done anything to her.
I don't think Stephan would have done anything to her. Maybe she's out there still alive. You don't think Stephan would have done anything to her? Oh my goodness, Ms. Soto. Is she just this asleep? Is it possible that she's just this asleep? Oh my goodness. Not to my knowledge, Betty. Oh, that's sad to think about, Kate. Let's pause it there. I'll cue us up to when Kissimmee comes for the next part in this. So we've gone through about 45 minutes of it. Let's bring Maddie up here. We've gone through 43 minutes and 5 seconds of it. I will skip through up until the point that the Kissimmee detectives come in, and that's where we will pick up tomorrow at 7:30. Okay. Now, just real quick before we go, let me bring up the old website. So let's see, actually real quick, let me just show you on this video right here. If you go into the description, there's a file drop right here. If you ever want to drop me any files, just click on that link. Okay. My website is gavinfish.com. You can contact me clicking this little button here. It's a little form. I don't respond to all of them because I get dozens and dozens of them a day, but I do respond to some of them. I read all of them. So you can contact me there. If you click on the front page of the website and you can see Crime Cod stories right here. Clicking on any one of those or this link up here will take you to crimecod.com, which is a full true crime news website. You can sign up for a newsletter there if you'd like. Also, back on my website, if you click on this little fishy up here, that will take you to the fish tank where you can join us for True Crime Conversations on Facebook. Okay, guys, with that, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're kind of cutting it off a little bit early tonight. It's only 8:30 where I am Eastern time. But that will give me time to tuck my kids into bed and do all that kind of stuff, which is great. And then that will give me time to scan through to when the Kissimmee detectives come in on this recording, and that's where we'll pick it up tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to all the newbies that are on the channel right now. I'm so glad that you're here. Like the channel keeps growing and growing, and it's, I think it's mostly thanks to the conversations we have through the live chat. I think it's probably time that we do a call-in show again. It has been a long time since we've done that. I have a Discord server where we can do that. So maybe we will set that up. I don't know if you guys would like to do that, put it in the comments, either in the live chat or on the rewatch crew. Put it in the comments down below, and let me know if you guys want to do a call-in show, because I would love to do kind of a talking back and forth rather than just reading your comments. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, with that, I will bid you adieu until tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, when we will pick up this interview as soon as the Kissimmee police walk in. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.